Indian Arrival Day on the 30th of May. And of course, to speak to us is Bheemal Ramlogan. And of course, he's from the Hindu community. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Namaste, Sitaram, good morning.
Namaste?
Yes, namaste.
Namaste says meaning?
I bow to the divinity within you.
Okay, right. Namaste. All right. And all right, so let's go into it. And this is what we don't know these things, you know?
Yes.
So, and I continue to say we need to know our cultures. We are plural society. And clearly, I'm now learning. I hear it all the time, but I didn't know what it meant. But anyway, all right, so good morning and welcome. Let's get into it. Indian Arrival Day is on the 30th of May. You know, I know we have a holiday coming up, and I'm trying to struggle. What day it is, I know I discover, is the 30th, which is next week.
Friday.
Yes, it's coming.
Is
Next week, Friday.
Friday. Long weekend again.
Right, good, long weekend. All right, so let's talk about this celebration plan for Indian Arrival Day in Tobago.
All right, so we have our annual celebration tomorrow at the Lowlands Mall. It's starting at 5 p.m. Admission is free. We're looking forward to seeing the general public there. Every year we do annual Indian Arrival and Diwali celebration. So this is going to be a massive occasion.
Very good. All right. So what are some of the plans? Of course, that's the 24th. That is Saturday here.
Yeah.
And tell me what, do we have our brothers and sisters coming from Trinidad to make up the contingent? Because we know the Hindu community is now growing in Tobago.
Right. So as a child, I remember we used to have a large contingent coming across from Trinidad. We don't really need all that Trinis anymore because we have our own thing going here. We have so much natural talent right here in Tobago.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at Mia Bipat, she has been a child, 9, 10 years old, performing throughout Trinidad. They requested her to come from Tobago to go to Trinidad to perform. When you look at Tobago Channel, Bheemal Ramlogan, music videos all over. His music in India, in South Africa, and Canada. So we producing and enhancing our own talent right across here. We have some members coming across from Trinidad. We have Acharya Rukmini, who last Bipat. She has been awarded the Hummingbird Gold Medal by the President. And she is in education and culture. So we have persons like that of that stature coming across. But really and truly, the majority of the performances going on by our very own Tobagonians.
Will he be coming? If he coming again, will he be what's his name?
Adesh Samaru.
Adesh Samaru.
Yeah.
Is he going to be there?
I think I need to ask Shana to get Adesh
But I'll be always plugging it.
Yeah.
I think that's just arguably your favorite suka chutney.
I fell in love with that, so I still love it. But yeah. All right.
But let's look at the reenactment. Is there any plans to do a series of reenactments to commemorate the indentured laborers and so on, the significance of the day?
Yeah. Well, I remember about 25 years ago when the celebrations used to be Lambo. You know, we were right by the ocean, so we used to have the boat come in, we used to go on the boat, and it used to be a nice adventure and stuff. I mean, the mall doesn't give us the opportunity to do these things. But I remember last 2 years, there was a woman did a skit, and then last year we had a nice discourse talking about the trip from India to Trinidad and these things. So it may not be a physical reenactment, but certainly the educational part will be there. And again, Acharya Rukmini, she's somebody big on education, so she will try to encompass that.
In terms of traditions and rituals that occur leading up to and on the day, tell us what exactly is in store. And in the Tobago space, it may be slightly different in terms of numbers as we addressed earlier on. But what exactly transpires leading up to and on the day from a ritual standpoint?
Sure. Well, Indian Arrival Day is more of a cultural thing than a religious thing. For Diwali, you know, leading up to Diwali, we would have Ram Leela, which would be a play that goes on over a 2-week period and these things. And there's a lot of religious celebrations around Diwali. For Indian Arrival Day, it's more cultural and less religious, so we wouldn't have that much. Okay. However, I must say, throughout the year, we would have different events happening in Trinidad and some in Tobago, such as Pagua, which is celebrated at the start of the spring period, early March, mid-March, around there, where, you know, we celebrate with different colors and throw in colored powder on persons and these things. In Tobago, we have celebrations, Hanuman Jayanti, Ganesh Utsav and other religious occasions spread throughout the year.
The Fatel Razack, what year? And it's important that we remind for educational purposes the era in which the Fatel Razack brought our first indentured laborers to Trinidad, and hence we are now brothers and sisters in this Trinidad and Tobago, and so on. But just to refresh our memory, for my own, I can't remember the year, but I know about this.
Yeah.
What year? What era was it? Well, of course,
1845.
1845. Let me put this down here so that I will have that in my database. 1845. Right? All right. So let's speak about the culture of the East Indian community that we are still struggling to embrace. And let's be real. There are things that we don't know about your culture that we as Trinbagonians should know, given that we live with each other. And we have to be, I don't want to say tolerant, but we have to accept, because this is part of who we are. All right, so we just discovered, for those of you hearing this for the first time, I know it's 18-something, but I wasn't sure. And let's speak about what came out of that, the struggle. We see and we admire our East Indian brothers with the successes, with businesses and sacrifices that they would make to achieve. But let's talk about some of what was achieved from indenture to now that you can reflect on just at the top of your head.
All right. Hinduism is something, and I speak in Hinduism here because I represent the Hindu Society, is based in science. We are heavily scientific. And when it is that you look at that, we understand the importance of sacrifice. We understand the importance of studying and focusing and developing. And that's how our culture is built. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say there isn't tolerance, because in Tobago we are warmly embraced, we are appreciated. And over the years, we develop as a society. Trinidad and Tobago is built upon the foundations of many great cultures coming together. And in Tobago, as I say, right now we're building the first Hindu temple across here, and we're receiving so much love and support. The Tobago House of Assembly, the Chief Secretary, all these people, URP workers, they contribute significantly, and today the mandir is over 50% completion. Pretty soon will be fully completed, and when we are fully completed, this opens the door to increase educational opportunities. Mm-hmm. You're going to have Tobagonians who are not going and be of Hindu faith, who are not going and be of East Indian ethnicity. They're going to come to the mandir, and they're going to learn the culture. They're going to grow. They're going to enhance their talent. Song, music, cooking, arts, culture. All these things is avenues that we will expand in Tobago, and it would even be a form of tourism.
Excellent.
Of course, the legacy of indentured laborers in Trinidad and Tobago points to resilience, points to adaptation. But one significant sector in particular we can speak to would be agriculture. We can speak to the impact that the indentured laborers contributed to the cocoa industry, the rice industry, the sugar industry.
Yeah.
Where are we today? And speak to some of the, not necessarily inroads, but contributions that the indentured laborers and even fast forwarding into the modern day East Indian community would contribute to the agricultural sector in Trinidad and Tobago. And if you have the time, you could speak to the Tobago context as well.
I mean, just yesterday I saw that the High Commissioner of India met with the Minister of Agriculture with regards to agricultural programs and these things. So we could see that there's still a connection between the homeland India and Trinidad and Tobago in terms of agricultural development. And in Trinidad and Tobago recently, we started to appreciate agricultural impact a little more. We're starting to see agriculture is changing now to more sustainable measures with the increase in hydroponics and aquaculture and all these things. And I know that there's a lot of programs that the Indian High Commission offers to Trinidad and Tobago to go across there and study in fields such as agriculture. We have had a lot of impact in terms of development in agriculture, but we need to remember our society is 1.4 million people. India is 1.4 billion people. And it's so ironic that, the ratio matches so nicely. So we have a long way to go in what we have to learn in agriculture. And I think with time, as the relationship continues, I want to see Tobago now, as I said, with this temple and this mandir being established, that we could send persons to India to study in these fields. Sita Bipat Kombi, who is the daughter of the president, she went to India. She studied 3 years dance in Bharatanatyam in New Delhi, India. So we have seen Tobagonians go across to India and study. I want to see things go further, where we have Tobagonians who are not traditionally East Indian, who are not Hindu, go across to India through these programs and continue to strengthen the relationship between Tobago and India.
In terms of Hinduism, the majority would be from East Indian descent, but just based on your comment there and encouraging persons to head over and to learn more, is there a community within the Hinduism society where there are persons who are not necessarily East Indians? I don't have the data.
In Trinidad, there will be some. Now, let me say that in Hinduism, we don't believe in converting anybody because we don't believe that there's one God. We believe there's many streams, many rivers. We believe there's one God. Let me rephrase. We believe there's one God. It doesn't matter what name you call that God by, whether it's Ram, Allah, Shiva, Krishna. Doesn't matter. Jesus, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you live the right lifestyle. So we don't believe in converting, but we believe that everybody in the world has, should have the equal opportunity to achieve anything.
Very good. All right, so on the 24th, we look forward to the celebration at the Lowlands Mall.
Yeah.
Starting what time?
5 p.m.
5 until
8. Around 8, yeah.
All right, right. And of course, all the the traditional songs, the bhajan.
Yeah.
And of course, we expecting my friend with the song that I like, and so on.
Adesh
Samaru. I'm going to ask Shana to put in a request to have Adesh Samaru here for the next Indian Arrival event just for you.
Very good.
But do something up.
All right, so just give us over. We did mention who and who is going to perform, but just for the audience, one more time.
So we're going to have our orchestra coming across from Trinidad. We will have songs by Mia and Govinda. We will have a dance by Sita Bipat. We will have Pikapan.
Aha.
You know, you like a
Pikapan from Mastana Baha.
Correct.
Yeah, and then you had to the actual question before you get access to the pan.
Correct.
Like, what is the Hindustani word for baigan?
I don't know.
Oh, well, no, baigan in people.
But for eggplant, what should be baigan? You see, you're very Indian inclined.
Never used to miss me with Shama. Anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to have a lot of entertainment. We do a queen show as well. You know, I try to, as the master of ceremonies, I try to make the event very
entertaining.
Not just entertaining, but very communicative between the audience. I can't find the word I'm looking for off the top of my head. Interactive. I try to make it interactive with the audience because I want people to not just come and just look at that show. I want you to, when you leave there, it must be an experience.
Right.
This is how we're going to increase education on the island, by getting persons incorporated into the event.
Two things quickly. What exactly you're wearing there?
I'm wearing a kurta. So a kurta is a regular male fashion wear. The females, they wear saris, gararas, shalwars, and so on.
And in terms of the food, because we can't have here and not talk about the food. Even at the event, what can persons expect?
Well, we will have refreshments available for free, of course. We'll have chana and aloo, pumpkin, mango, bus-up shot, and parsad, which is the sweet.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to thank you very much for being here. And when you're saying goodbye now, when you say
Namaste.
Namaste.
Once again, Sitaram, Ram Ram.
Okay.
However you choose to.
Very good.
Praise God.
All right, great. Thank you, my brother. And of course, a pleasure having you. And all the best to you. All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.